Football passing once followed a simple rule. Defenders cleared the ball. Midfielders moved it. Forwards finished the attack. Each player had a fixed responsibility. Each pass had an obvious destination. Short passes kept possession. Long passes escaped pressure. Crosses supplied the striker. But modern football has broken those boundaries. Goalkeepers now start attacks. Centre-backs split defensive lines. Full-backs move into midfield. Wingers create from central areas. Strikers drop deep and become playmakers. As tactics, pressing systems, pitch technology, and player technique have developed, passing has become more varied, more precise, and more deceptive. The same movement can defend, create, accelerate, or destroy an entire structure. The short pass. A short pass is a controlled delivery between nearby teammates, usually played along the ground. In the past, it was mainly used to maintain possession and move the ball safely through midfield. It carried a conservative reputation. The player received, looked up, and passed to the nearest available option. As positional football developed, the short pass became a tool for manipulation. In modern systems, players use it to attract pressure, create passing triangles, rotate positions, and open spaces elsewhere. The distance may be small, but the tactical effect can be enormous. A centre-back passes into midfield. The midfielder returns the ball with one touch. A defender steps forward. A new lane appears behind him. 3 simple passes pull an entire defensive block out of shape. Xavi Hernandez is a classic example. His short passing controlled rhythm, connected teammates, and moved opponents before the final opening appeared. This pass is important because it gives a team control over the ball, the tempo, and the position of the opposition. The long pass. A long pass sends the ball over a large distance, either through the air or rapidly across the ground. Traditionally, it was associated with direct football. Defenders launched the ball forward, strikers challenged for it, and midfielders fought for the second ball. The main objective was territory rather than precision. As ball design, tactical analysis, and technical training developed, the long pass evolved into a calculated attacking weapon. In modern football, it can switch play, escape a press, isolate a winger, or find a runner behind the defense. The boundary between clearing and creating has become blurred. One accurate strike can bypass 6 opponents. The ball rises over midfield, travels across the pitch, and lands at the feet of an advancing fullback. The defense must turn, sprint, communicate, and reorganize within seconds. Toni Kroos is a classic example. His long passes regularly changed the point of attack and delivered the ball into space with exceptional timing. This pass is important because it allows a team to attack distant space without moving through every defensive line. The through ball. A through ball is a forward pass played into space behind or between defenders for a teammate to run onto. In the past, it was mainly the responsibility of the central playmaker. The number 10 waited between midfield and defense, watched the striker's movement, and attempted the final pass. As defensive lines became higher and attacking movements became more coordinated, the through ball changed. In modern football, it can come from midfielders, fullbacks, centre-backs, wingers, and even goalkeepers. It can be played along the ground, chipped over defenders, or bent around the outside of a defensive block. Timing controls everything. Played too early, and the runner has not created separation. Played too late, and the offside flag rises. Played with too much power, and the goalkeeper collects it. Played correctly, and the defense disappears from the contest. Lionel Messi is a classic example. His through balls combine disguise, weight, angle, and timing, often reaching spaces defenders do not recognize until the pass has already arrived. This pass is important because it transforms movement without the ball into a direct chance to score. The 1-2. A 1-2 is a passing combination in which one player passes to a teammate, continues moving, and immediately receives the return ball. Traditionally, it was a simple method for escaping an individual defender. 2 attackers exchanged the ball quickly, while the defender reacted too slowly. As pressing and compact defensive structures developed, the 1-2 became more flexible. In modern football, it can break pressure near the touchline, enter the penalty area, create central overloads, and accelerate attacks through narrow spaces. The return pass does not always go directly back. It can be flicked, redirected, delayed, or played around a third defender. The first pass invites pressure. The movement removes the marker. The return ball attacks the empty space. In 2 touches, a static situation becomes forward momentum. Andres Iniesta is a classic example. His quick combinations allowed him to move through crowded midfield zones while keeping the ball beyond the reach of defenders. This pass is important because it combines passing and movement into one continuous action that can eliminate an opponent. Before continuing, please like and subscribe. The cross. A cross is a pass delivered from a wide area toward teammates positioned near or inside the penalty box. In the past, crossing followed a predictable pattern. A winger reached the byline, lifted the ball into the area, and aimed for a powerful center forward. The attack depended on height, strength, and aerial duels. As defensive organization, data analysis, and attacking movement developed, crossing became far more diverse. In modern football, players use high crosses, low crosses, cutbacks, early crosses, whipped crosses, and passes driven across the 6-yard box. The boundary between a cross and a final pass has become increasingly blurred. A high cross attacks the air. A low cross attacks the defender's feet. A cutback attacks the space behind the defensive line. An early cross attacks before the defense is prepared. David Beckham is a classic example. His delivery combined curve, speed, and accuracy, allowing him to create chances from wide and deep positions. This pass is important because it converts width into danger and forces defenders to protect several vertical and aerial zones at once. The cutback. A cutback is a backward or diagonal pass played from near the byline toward a teammate arriving in front of goal. Traditionally, wide players were expected to cross the ball forward into crowded areas. Passing backward appeared to slow the attack or surrender progress. As expected goals analysis and structured attacking patterns developed, the cutback became one of football's most valuable final passes. In modern football, teams deliberately enter the space beside the goal, draw defenders toward the goalkeeper, and pass back toward unmarked runners near the penalty spot or edge of the box. This creates a difficult defensive problem. The goalkeeper protects the near post. The center backs retreat toward the goal line. The midfielders chase runners from behind. The ball then travels backward, away from the defender's momentum and into the path of an attacker facing the goal. Kevin De Bruyne is a classic example. His low deliveries and cutbacks repeatedly find teammates arriving late in areas that defenders struggle to cover. This pass is important because it turns deep wide penetration into a high-quality shooting opportunity from the center. The no-look pass. A no-look pass is a delivery made while the passer directs his eyes, head, or body toward a different target. In the past, it was often treated as entertainment. It appeared in street football, exhibition matches, and moments of individual flair. Coaches sometimes viewed it as unnecessary risk. As technical ability and tactical deception developed, the no-look pass gained a clearer purpose. In modern football, it is used to hide intention, freeze defenders, move goalkeepers, and disguise the true passing lane. The visual signal points one way. The ball travels another. The passer looks toward the wing. The defender shifts sideways. The midfielder remains still. A hidden lane opens through the center. The pass enters that lane before the defense can correct its position. Ronaldinho is a classic example. His no-look passes were not only expressive. They manipulated opponents by separating what they saw from what actually happened. This pass is important because it attacks the defender's perception before it attacks the available space. The backheel pass. A backheel pass is played with the heel, usually toward a teammate positioned behind or beside the passer. Traditionally, it was considered an improvised move used when a player could not turn. It belonged to tight spaces and unexpected moments. As combination play and fluid attacking roles developed, the backheel became a deliberate link between players. In modern football, it can redirect the ball around a marker, complete a 1-2, create a shooting angle, or continue an attack without changing body position. The boundary between control, pass, and feint becomes blurred. The player receives with his back to goal. The defender expects a turn. Instead, the ball is released instantly behind the standing leg. The defender reacts to the body, while the pass escapes in the opposite direction. Karim Benzema is a classic example. His backheel combinations connect midfielders, wingers, and overlapping runners while allowing attacks to continue at full speed. This pass is important because it creates an option in the direction the passer appears least prepared to use. The switch of play. A switch of play moves the ball from one side of the pitch to the other, usually through a long diagonal pass. In the past, it was mainly used when one flank became crowded. The ball moved across the field, and the team restarted the attack on the opposite side. As pressing systems became more compact, the switch developed into a method for punishing defensive concentration. In modern football, teams deliberately attract opponents to one side, exchange short passes, compress the defensive block, and then release the ball toward the empty wing. This creates a chain reaction. The defense shifts toward the ball. The far side winger stays wide. The passer scans the field. The diagonal delivery travels above the pressure. The receiver controls it with space to dribble, cross, or shoot. Trent Alexander-Arnold is a classic example. His diagonal switches transform crowded defensive situations into immediate attacking advantages on the opposite side. This pass is important because it uses the full width of the pitch to stretch a defense beyond its ability to remain compact. The progressive pass. A progressive pass moves the ball significantly closer to the opponent's goal by breaking into or through a more advanced zone. Traditionally, passing statistics counted every completed pass in the same way. A safe pass between defenders appeared equal to a pass that broke an entire midfield line. As performance data and tactical analysis developed, progressive passing became a major measure of attacking influence. In modern football, it identifies players who do more than retain possession. They advance it, penetrate pressure, connect units, and force the opposition to retreat. The ball begins with a center back. A midfielder checks his shoulder and moves between opponents. The pass travels through the first line. He turns forward. The defensive block collapses toward him. A new attack begins. Sergio Busquets is a classic example. His progressive passes often look simple, but they entered precise spaces and removed several opponents from the defensive phase. This pass is important because it measures whether possession is merely circulating or actually moving toward danger. The final pass. A final pass is the last successful delivery before a teammate attempts a shot. In the past, it was usually associated with the attacking midfielder. The creator operated behind the forwards and searched for the decisive ball. As attacking structures became more fluid, the final pass began to come from almost every position. In modern football, a fullback can deliver it from the wing, a center back can produce it from deep, a striker can provide it after dropping into midfield, and a goalkeeper can launch it during a counterattack. Positional boundaries have become blurred. The final pass may be a cross, a cutback, a through ball, a header, a backheel, or a simple square pass. Its form changes. Its purpose does not. It converts preparation into an immediate attempt on goal. Thomas Muller is a classic example. His movement and simple final passes repeatedly connect chaotic attacking situations with clear scoring chances. This pass is important because it is the final link between creating an advantage and attempting to score.